Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV and a new episode of our online interview series. Today, we want to talk to Tim Clark, the CEO of Fury Gold Mines, and Bryan Atkinson, the Senior Vice President of Exploration. Good morning, guys. How are you?
Hey, Mark, how are you? How things going?
Yeah, all good here in Switzerland. Hope also in Canada as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's perfect. So almost 6 weeks ago, we had our first online interview for this year in order to talk about the last year of exploration and drill results of Fury Gold Mines. And now, 6 weeks later, you also already published two really good press releases. And so that's the situation in order to talk about today. So what happened?
Well, listen, we had a good year last year in terms of what we were able to accomplish, and we closed the Dolly deal. We did the close the deal with Newmont. We raised some money. We brought in some investors, and I think sort of the highlight was we got some of our best results at the end of the year. We had Percival released in December. So the stock released, and I think everybody sort of understood what the value we've created there in the last year, and we're back up where I think it's a more reasonable valuation from our standpoint, but still relatively inexpensive as you compare us to the group. And we've recently released some other studies that are basically showing how we get bigger, and it's adding to our pipeline. Bryan, do you want to be a little more specific coming from your end?
Yeah, definitely. No, I think as we learn more and more as we go out there and get a handle on regional controls on the mineralization and taking what we're learning at Eau Claire and applying it along those regional targets, you see, it's defining 6 really good targets out at Lac Clarkie, right along the Cannard Deformation Zone, where 90% of our known gold occurrences are within that deformation zone or within a kilometer of that deformation zone. So just taking that learning and applying it as we go and just developing some really exciting targets. Like, Percival, we've got another 14 targets out there that haven't been drill tested that look a lot like Percival when you look at the geochemistry, the geophysics, the structure, the geology. And then, further along that, that same trend out in Lac Clarkie, we've got these 6 new anomalies right along that same structural trend. So look for just trying to take our learnings and apply it on the regional sense.
I think, Mark, the other thing to point out too, just to give Bryan and his guys credit, that our hit ratio has gone up massively back at Eau Claire and out at Percival. I think the learning curve for the last couple of years is starting to take shape. And I think one of the reasons why we're excited to get back this spring is we kind of know what we're looking for now. We've got a better idea. And I think it's going to be an even more productive this year in terms of drilling and getting those ounces.
Sure. And now we are just talking about your projects in Quebec. So do you have any exploration priorities? What about Nunavut? So is it now a bit more behind all these other projects, or what's your plan for this year?
We're not planning to go up there again this year. So it's the second year we're going to sort of put things on hold. I think, look, the Committee Bay project is awesome. It's 300 kilometers. We've got 1.3 million ounces. We had one of our best hits just as we left the last time. We'd love to go back up. It's expensive. And, one of the things I wanted to do when I came into the company was just really to sort of target the areas of growth where every dollar we got the most out of. And going to Committee Bay can really send your stock way up. I mean, it's the big gorilla, the big elephant in the room that everybody would love to hit. I think what's interesting now, and I'm getting a lot more questions about Committee Bay because of B2 Gold making a bid for Sabina up there. We've had the Newmont and Newcrest deal. I think, and for your Swiss investors, Canada is going to become a hotbed of acquisitions and M&A. We've been waiting for it. Barrick's been floating around looking up there too. Agnico's a big player now, and I think they're going to divide it up. If you look at the way the world is working right now, and people are isolating, and it's becoming very geopolitically driven in terms of where you want to invest. And it's two of some of the best places in the world are Canada and Australia. Quebec happens to be, I think, one of the two best in terms of support from their government, which is why we're in Quebec. But I think that if you look at our land packages, we have big properties for a little small company. And we're right next to we own a third of a company that's right next to Hecla, which is the Dolly Varden. We own Committee Bay, which is up near Agnico, up in Nunavut. And we own our James Bay asset literally within 50 kilometers, and in fact share a joint Eleanor South with Newmont, right next to one of the largest, if not the largest, producer in the world. There is going to be consolidation, and our job is really to keep moving along. And what Bryan is insinuating here, as we're looking out on our property, is we're taking an asset that we think is going to be close to 2 million ounces at Eau Claire, and we're going to be adding all these potential discoveries along a Cannard Deformation Zone that runs for 100 kilometers, and we own a third of it. So if you're a big company and you're looking to do acquisitions and you think the bull market's coming in gold, which I do, you would want to look at places just like us that have great infrastructure, great power, not just power, but hydropower in a jurisdiction like Canada. I think, and we could potentially get a windfall of money coming in if Dolly Varden got bid away. We're prime takeover. In the meantime, we have plenty of targets to keep working on, and we've got a team that's demonstrating the skill to be able to improve things. And so when you look at what we've got, I think it's a home run in terms of taking a look.
Yeah, exactly. And Bryan, just for our investors, for the understanding of our investors, what's so special about this deformation zone at Lac Clarkie?
Yeah, so as Tim mentioned there, it's a regional deformation zone that extends for, it's mapped for over 100 kilometers using regional magnetics. We've got 30 kilometers of it, and what we've seen is that all Eau Claire sits along it, Percival sits along it, Snake Lake sits along it. So a lot of our known gold occurrences are controlled by this deformation zone. And if you look broader with it out to our reservoir land package or some of the ground we've optioned off at the East Main Mine, they're all sort of along this east-west trend, spread out a little further, but it's just this regional importance of it that's just starting to be recognized, and sticking close to that has really helped us, explore efficiently out on the regional land package. We have 55,000 hectares at Eau Claire alone, and being able to narrow that down to something you can actually go out and target, and without big outlay of capital, go out and find some new anomalies to go follow up and bring through the pipeline. That's really sort of the importance of it. There's other structures in the property to the north, and then there's some ones that are trending northeast to southeast to northwest, and those are also underexplored. So as we go out, it's just we've built up this new structural framework, and now we're just applying that to controls on mineralization, and it's part of the learning as we go out there, Mark.
Cool. And in your last press release, you mentioned these 8 drill places, and 6 of them you want to start drilling now. Do you have an exact timetable? When do you want to start?
I think go ahead, Tim.
Go ahead, Bryan.
I think we'd like to get back out drilling on Eau Claire here in the spring, and in Percival and that, and then some of these targets still need a bit of work, so we need to get them through the pipeline up to drill ready stage. So we need a bit of boots on the ground, get our technical team out there and have a look at these and sort of refine them down to drill start target stage. And I think if we have a good drill summer, you'll see us stepping out on some of the Percival, the 14 anomalies at Percival, and then some of these ones out at Lac Clarkie as well with the drill bit.
Cool. And for the whole company, Tim, so do you have an exact drill plan now, or how's the situation there?
Well, we're just working through it to get it through the board, but we'll have a budget out pretty soon. We've got $9 million in the treasury, so we're fully funded for the year. We've got our contracts in place for the spring, so I don't foresee any issues. Yeah, I think we've got an ambitious year ahead of us, and I think we got the wind at our backs, so we're excited.
Yes, pretty excited. We are also. And you mentioned Dolly Varden, so you have still a stock shares there.
Yeah.
How much?
We got 59.5 million shares of Dolly. That's about 61 million market cap, which is about half our market cap, maybe a little bit more. So it's quite a bit. It's 23.5% of their company. Okay. So we're by far the largest shareholder of Dolly right now.
Cool.
And they've been very successful, and they've got a full budget and a full treasury. So they're excited. I was on with Sean Kun this morning on the phone, and he's excited to get back out there and get some drill results. He's as he said, he's like, I know where to go now. So I think that's probably true.
Perfect. And so I guess you want to keep your shares, right?
Not planning on selling the shares. Not right now. No.
Yeah, perfect. Cool. So that are great informations, great news from Fury Gold Mines again. So I'm a shareholder of the company. I'm really, really happy about it. So as you also said for your introduction, the share price went up, and so it's getting better. The gold price is still strong now with around 1,800. All the experts are saying maybe we are going to $2,000 again, or maybe higher. What's your intention for the gold price?
I've gone back to a lot of my old colleagues, and I think it's pretty consistent that this is going to be a better year for gold. I think it's not a reach to see gold at 2,000. I kind of would expect it to be there by the end of the year. I think near term, yeah, you can have a little bounce here. I think the market still needs to figure itself out, but I think gold is going higher. And I mean, look, I made this bet 18 months ago coming to this company that I felt like the way the world economy was working, that gold was going to become a more important item, and I still firmly believe that. I just think we'll know a lot more how high it will go in 6 or 8 months. But I think I definitely think this is a much better year. And we were just out in Vancouver at the conference out there, and I'll tell you what, if the retail agrees with us, because there were 4 to 5 times as many people at this conference as there was a year ago. With the Fury booth, we had 10, 12 people deep. A lot of people that we had to turn away. We just couldn't get to them. We had a big market, and plus we had big news coming out of the drill bit, and everybody wanted to find out. So it's really exciting to see a lot of our hard work kind of come into fruition. And look, I think that if you're looking at buying a junior gold company and you believe that story, you need 2 things. One is a good treasury, and the other is a good management team that's not going to blow that treasury. They're going to spend it efficiently. I think we've got both, and I don't think that many companies do. And if you're going to go in the junior space, you don't look at us, especially at these prices. Even though we've accomplished a lot, we're still below where we were a year ago. And it's still time to get in. Once it starts to go, it'll go fast, and it's hard to catch it. And if you have a little bit in, you don't feel as guilty buying more. But if you don't have anything in, now you say to yourself, now what do I do? And the anxiety will prevent you from making what you think is should be a rational decision. So I would tell you to take a little bit, watch the stock. We're doing good things, and we've got a lot of good backers behind us, and good relationships for things to happen. And especially the Dolly Varden position is unique. Most juniors do not have half their equity value that they can monetize like that.
That's it. Yeah, that's a perfect description and a perfect conclusion about Fury Gold Mines. Thank you very much, Tim. So thank you very much, guys, for this news update. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that were Tim Clark and Bryan Atkinson from Fury Gold Mines, and you heard it. Things are really going well, and for this year again, there are lots of good news to come. The company has no debt, has enough money in the bank. The next drill program is fully funded, and so check out the company, and we will keep you posted. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland.